Hi everyone, so here's Lime app. Lime app is one of the most popular apps to ride electric scooters and bicycles all around the world. It has pretty huge network, and me personally, I'm using this app quite a lot. So I'll just give my experience and my suggestions, like what I think about this app, should you use it or not. Of course, there are many apps out there depending on location you are. Like in Europe, like in Denmark, for example, like if I want to ride electric bike, usually there would be like Lime, Bolt, which is another like competitor. Then there will be a bunch of like, you can get like a city bike, you can get like a Donkey Republic. But for me, like Lime electric bikes are pretty good. Previously, as I understand, they were Jump bikes, so this was like a separate company, Jump. As I understand, then Jump bikes were acquired by Uber or some, and then Lime acquired them, if I'm not mistaken. And these Lime bikes are pretty good. Like for me, if you're like a tall person, and they have pretty nice speed, and it's a good quality bikes. I personally like them more than Bolt electric bikes. Lime bikes feel a bit more like faster and more kind of you can move faster from one point to another, and it's a bit more comfortable maybe, but it just depends. So yeah, here you can just see how many miles you already went this week or lifetime, how many rides you had this week or lifetime, how many Lime points you had. And then you can just add your payment method. So your payment method can be like Apple Pay, for example. That's what I do. Or you can just add your credit card, debit card, and then you can just scan the bike. Here, for example, as you can see, not in all locations you have Lime bikes. It's not that you can have them in big cities probably, so you can just zoom around and see where it's available. Yeah, the one thing is like they are not in every country and all of that. But then what you can do basically, you can just tap scan, and then you also have a lighter. You can also enter code manually like this. You can just type. So your process looks like that when you open the map, and then you just look for a scooter or electric bike. So usually with Lime app, I just rent bikes. That's my primary use case kind of. And then you just need to tap scan and scan this QR code which you will see on the bike. And then you just need to confirm with your Apple ID or with your payment that you want to start. There is like a starting fee to start the bike, and then you will be charged. Just scan it. As soon as your payment is kind of completed, your ride starts, and then your seconds are being counted. When you're searching for bikes, you can just filter vehicles or scooters. You can just zoom into your current location where you're located, and that's basically it. Then you can see in your history like all your previous bikes and all of that. I would say that like Lime bikes are not cheap, so it makes most case when you kind of live, I don't know, not not that far from your distance. This is not a bike I would rent for like to ride like 30 kilometers for sure. But if you need to ride like 5-10 kilometers, 3 kilometers, something like that, that's a good option. And then if your ride is like 10-20 minutes, that's a good option. And then you can just pay like $5-10, let's say, for that trip, and that kind of makes sense, especially in the cities where there is good cycling infrastructure. For example, Copenhagen. I don't know if it's available in Netherlands, Amsterdam, all the cities where where there are bicycle lanes. It's like pretty convenient. You just go, and then of course it's much cheaper than taxi, but it's much faster than just a normal bike if you don't have electric bike, and it's just available everywhere. You just rent it out, go from one location and stop it. In my experience, the one annoying thing about Lime bikes is that these parking spots. That's comparing to Bolt, that's the big disadvantage. So while bikes are a bit better here in the Lime, the parking is the most annoying thing, because you can only park Lime bike in the specific parking spots. And if you're new to city and you just using it like a tourist, it's a really huge pain, because you obviously you don't know where these parking slots are available. They can be in standard biking parking spots where all the other bikes in the city are, and they may be not, and you don't know. So before you stop, and you need to look on the map where exactly that parking spot is. And if you're in the rush, that's really annoying, because you might arrive to your destination, but then you can see that the nearest parking spot can be like 500 meters away, and then you still need to park the bike there and walk, and you can't park outside. Well, you can, but then there can be some additional fees, or you can reach out to support and all of that. Also, a few times with the bikes, I just couldn't end the ride. So their app crashed a few times. That also was like a thing for me. So just be careful. But if you, for example, your phone turned off, or you just couldn't end the ride, that's of course pretty annoying, but you can instantly reach out to their support. That's what I did. So you can just go to the help center, and then you can just tap issue with a recent ride, and then you can just select the ride which you're having, and tell that you just can't end the ride, and then you can just write them. If something is not working and you're right, you can't enter right, it's pretty annoying, because you just keep being charged, and if the response from support comes after 1 hour and you were charged for the whole hour, it can be hundreds, it can be, I don't know, maybe close to $100, or 2 hours response time. So definitely be careful with that. But of course, if you can prove that there was a really technical issue, that they will reimburse it. And in my case, if there was really technical issue, they really can reimburse it, and they can offer me one additional free ride with Lime. So that happened to me a few times, but that's pretty annoying. With other apps, I didn't have these kind of technical bugs. With Lime app, there is still something going on, especially with if there is poor 4G, 5G connection, some Bluetooth connectivity issues. That's one thing, but I hope that they will really improve their app. Then here you can just get free credits, so feel free to use this referral code RSKLNNV. Invite your friends to Lime. When they start riding, both of you will receive a free unlock credit. So yeah, just use this referral code, and then you will get some perks. Then you can just get some promos. So here you can add this promo code. So that's where you can add probably my code. Safety center, again, help is quite important, because when you have some issues with the ride, just always just write them in that moment, so they can register, they can log your issue. Because if you just can't end the ride and you just leave your bike, you can be charged for 2 hours, and you can just waste $100 and whatever. So earn with Lime, I don't know what that is. Probably if you just want to park bikes in the city, you can do that and just become like an Uber driver. So that's that. Another thing is that you can upgrade to some monthly subscription. If you're riding a lot, you can just calculate, and that these monthly subscriptions can be around $10 per month or something. But what it does, it just removes this unlock fee. Unlock fee is pretty annoying. In Denmark, it's 10 krona or $1.50 when you just start in the ride every time. And this monthly subscription is kind of removing that. So you paying 70 krona or something, let's say $10, and you don't need to pay $1.50. So if I would say, if you're doing like, you know, regular Lime trips, if you're doing like 8, let's say 7 even, you just need to calculate the difference. If you're making like 7 trips per month, then like Lime monthly pass makes sense. So if you know, traveling to work a few times with a Lime bike or anything, then definitely consider this monthly subscription. It makes sense for you, and it also will add some convenience. Maybe you will have some faster you know, support center or something like that. And then you can also just delete your account easily. So yeah, that's basically an idea. Hope you enjoyed this quick overview. I just tried to share my experience with Lime bike. Again, to summarize, I like their bikes. Previously there were jump bikes, it's really nice compared to Bolt or Tier bikes, but these are the pros. Nice app, but the cons are that it's really annoying to end the bike. You need to end it in specific spot, while Bolt bikes you can just end them everywhere, and that's like a huge difference. Because in a new city, yeah, it's a huge difference. But if you are living in the city and you're traveling to work regularly, for example, or to some place, and you, of course, like in a few weeks you learn the main kind of parking spots as the same as you do with the car, and you just know where to park your bike, and then you kind of forget about it. But then if you use this bike to travel to some new place, then this parking issue is annoying. The second cons is that their app sometimes can crash. It happened to me, and then you just don't know what's gonna happen. And sometimes yeah, the bike is kind of gets disconnected from the app, or it happened for me like few times. So I had like, you know, 53 rides. Maybe I had like, yeah, I would say 5 rides I had. So yeah, it's around, I would say, close to 10% of the rides either the bike stopped, or just like app got disconnected, or I couldn't end the ride or something like that. So there is still like, you know, 10% bug rate. I think is pretty high. While in Bolt I was just using that, I didn't have that many issues as I understand. So yeah, that's basically the idea. Hope you enjoyed this overview.